Hi, everyone. Welcome to another amazing topic of conversation. Thank you to our sponsors, the Health Channel. So please sign up for their newsletter so you can have an amazing healthy lifestyle. And Alexa's Workspaces, where you can bring up all the solutions in any work environment. And from the Power of the Heels, we're back with Disruptive Monarchy, the New Royals. We're bringing back Katie Nichol, best-selling author and royal correspondent, March 1st. So please sign up at indigoevents.net, upcoming events, and we hope to see you all there. So now to our new topic. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you, Gladys.
When you hear investigations and private investigations, you just think the guy in the car with this huge camera and this huge lens, just taking pictures of somebody else.
That's definitely what I hear a lot. That's what we all hear about. When you think of a private investigator, a private detective, the guy in the car with the camera, the hat, binoculars.
That everybody can see except the person that you're following, right?
Right, exactly. The gumshoe, we call them the gumshoe, right? So that is a lot of private investigators. Most private investigators, most private investigation companies in Florida is one guy in a car. That's the entire company.
And it's most infidelity.
Yeah, that's what they like to do. They're mostly former law enforcement officers. They're very good at it, and they're doing a lot of infidelity work. That is not what my company is focused on and what we
So
do.
that's what the reason that I wanted to talk to you, because I know there's a huge world out there beyond the big camera.
Yes, there is.
So what is the biggest thing that they hire you for?
Well, we get hired for a lot of things, and I'll run through with you what those are. Although I would say the biggest thing is the insurance defense surveillance. That's day to day. So that's when someone gets hurt somewhere in a store or at any commercial facility, and there's potential fraud. My team may follow them for a few days to see if they're really hurt.
Oh, so you get hired by the insurance companies?
Yes, for the biggest the insurance companies on behalf of the biggest box stores in our region and in the country. Yes, all the commercial retailers and grocery stores you can think of, we probably have done work for them.
So somebody falls, they sue the company, and then you get hired, follow them.
Yeah, we will look at their social media. We will follow them for several days, and they may have a medical appointment scheduled through workers' comp we may even know about, and be waiting for them. And if they're really hurt, they have nothing to worry about. But already the file has been flagged for potential fraud, and all we need is a few seconds of watching, of filming that subject doing something they're not supposed to be doing, and their claim can get slashed by a lot. And this is unfortunately, even if they're stubborn and doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, even if they are hurt, but if they're going against doctor's orders, still their claim can get slashed by a lot. So we do a lot of insurance defense surveillance. Of course, we do infidelity surveillance, but not as much as people may think, because Florida is a no-fault state. You don't need evidence of divorce, of infidelity to get divorced. We do asset searches. So we find bank accounts, we find brokerage accounts, we can even find crypto accounts worldwide. Sometimes we can see the balances for those bank accounts. We have to have.
So for example, if somebody is trying to hide money, then you guys find it.
That's right. We have to have a legal reason, and we have a legal and ethical way that we go about doing that. Some investigators will pretext, making pretend they're the subject, and they'll call the local banks, and that's illegal. So the asset searches are big. Before you get divorced, you may want to do a baseline to see your romantic partner where their accounts are before they start fraudulently moving money. Maybe you're thinking about suing someone and you want to see, is it worth it to sue someone? Or you have a judgment against a person or a company and you want to see if they have money when they say that they don't. So many different reasons to do an asset search, and we're very good at it. We do background reports. We will check someone's background, depending on the purpose, could be with or without their consent. We need their consent if it's for employee or tenant screening purposes. We have consent forms.
Yeah.
We check out their criminal history. We check their, if the client wants, we can check their credit. We can check their driving. If it's not for those reasons, we don't need consent, and we can check a lot more. We can check arrests, whether or not they've been convicted, bankruptcies, liens, judgments, foreclosures, evictions, properties, vehicles, businesses, UCC filings. We can create a whole dossier. I have former CIA analysts on my staff. They will go into blogs, into the dark web, political donations, put together a whole report on a person. Sometimes you may want to check out someone just because you're becoming romantically involved with a person, and they may hire us for that. So many different reasons to do a background report.
For example, when you talk about background reports and security checks, the first thing that comes into my mind is I would love to do a security check if I had small kids, so a nanny.
Yes, that's a really important one. And I would suggest doing that with consent for a few reasons. One is, with consent, you get to access their credit. This nanny may be referred to you by a family member, your neighbor, your best friend. This is the best nanny in the world. But don't you want to know if they have collections against them, if they're deeply in debt, if all their credit cards are closed down, and you're giving them free access to your residence? You need to know that. You need to go in eyes wide open. So, you know, anyone who's going to have close access to you, your children, your company, your books, your housing, they should be background checked. Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
Mark, we live in Florida, and half the nannies don't have papers.
Right.
How do you background check them?
So that is an issue because we are checking records.
Yeah, correct.
Now, if they want to provide their ID for us to check their backgrounds in their home countries, we can certainly do that. We can check in Venezuela, we can check in Cuba, we can check anywhere, we can check.
Yes, but you check there, but they already left.
Yes.
So couldn't they have done something here if they don't have a proper ID? Is
Sure.
there any way you can find out that part?
We can check on their name to see if anyone with their name has been arrested. But if they don't have a social security number, you know, that's the risk of hiring an undocumented person. It is harder to background check that person. Absolutely. That comes with the territory. Although I do want to add that when you ask someone to provide their consent for a background report, an important question to ask is, we're going to provide a background. We're going to run a background report. Is there anything you want to tell me that's going to come
before we do that?
Yes. You're vetting them for honesty. They may offer information that for whatever reason may not come up on the background report, because we only check if it's with consent, only 7 years, convictions only. But if they offer information, it's fair game. And they may be able to provide context for something that looks really bad, but if they can explain it ahead of time, at least they're being honest and giving you some more information before you make a decision.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Like
so
literally, that's a very good tip. So background checks. What else are you doing?
So
give me some cool insights.
Well, I'll tell you some more things that we do that people may not think investigators may do. We do background reports on companies. We're looking for business investments, mergers, acquisitions. We're looking at the company, their litigation history, their financial problems, their key officers, their criminal histories, their financial issues. It's a full check for business due diligence. We do international investigations. So if you need to find someone or someone's background or some information on a company in almost any country in the world, we can provide that. We have boots in the ground in most countries, an amazing network of trusted sources.
Before you even get into a partnership with somebody that you have no clue.
You have to. You can't just go on someone's word. You have to background check from a independent, a third party. We have something in our industry called skip tracing. That's finding someone who doesn't want to be found, someone who has skipped town. So it's one of the main things that we skip tracing. Yeah, that's finding someone. That's a big thing in our industry, finding people who don't want to be found. And we're very good at it. And we do a lot of that every day. We do it via looking at public records, at utility records, at people's social media, at a subject's family member's social media. We have all kinds of tricks of the trade to find people. You may need to find them to serve them. That's the number one reason why people need to find someone, is to serve them, or for any number of reasons.
And what's your success rate?
Oh, we're very high. We have what is widely known in our industry as one of the top skip tracers in the country on staff at my company at Crossroads. And she's just amazing, as are other case managers. They are just amazing at, this is all they do inside out, is look for people online and all of our databases, all of the restricted data. Found. Yeah. Oh yeah. We do jury vetting, which is something that the way we do it, I don't think anyone else does. So when you're in court, have you been called to jury duty before?
I've been called, and I actually would have loved to stay, but my daughter was ready to give birth any day. Oh, and they said that it was going to be a very long trial.
All right.
So I literally had to say no, but I'm looking. That's one of my to-do list. I would really love to be in a trial.
Yeah, it's an important civic responsibility. Do you remember how many people were with you that day, that morning?
There were a lot. I remember that I was chosen and I had to talk to the judge. And he said, I remember he said, "You're not pushing." And I go, "Yeah, I'm not pushing, but I'm taking care of my older grandson, the dog."
Right. So,
and if you want me to come with a baby, a dog, and bottles, I will be here.
So that's exactly what's going on. The morning of jury selection, there may be 50 people in the jury pool. We get those names that morning. One person is in the courtroom with the legal team. We have 4 or 5 people in the back office, and we may have 2, 3, maybe 4 hours to look at 50 people, their backgrounds, their political affiliations, their political donations, their employment, if we can find it, their arrest history, their court history. You know, have they been sued or sued people? Are they business owners? Our client will give us what their ideal juror looks like. And the entire team is working on a live Google Sheet and furiously working out this document for our legal client to look at. And we're giving them yes, no, hard no, maybe, depending on what criteria they have given us to choose the proper juror. So this is a very cool service. We love doing this. We've done it a number of times. We have a number scheduled around the country, actually. So that is something very unique that we offer for our legal clients.
So wait, you work for either side?
Either side.
Either side can hire you?
Yeah.
Kind of the series and TV bull.
Yes, people have said that to me, although we're not reading, we're not following people, we're not reading body language, we're looking at data.
You're looking at the actual facts.
Yes. Yeah.
Not profiling their behavior.
No.
So out of the 50 you bet out, and I imagine that you get at least half of the people that.
Yeah, we're catching jurors. Sometimes we catch them lying about their criminal history to the judge, to the court, to the lawyers. So that's a free strike. Sometimes, yeah, we find them, they're not being honest, completely honest about where they work. We had one where she said she was a bookkeeper, but what she didn't say was that she was a bookkeeper for a strip club. And, you know, she conveniently left that part out, but it was important information for our clients to know because of, it informed her social out view, her world perspective. So, the jury vetting is just a unique service. It's, about as far away from Gumshoe as you can think of.
So let me ask you something. Do they get in trouble if you find something that they've been lying? Because this person that you're talking about, she didn't lie. She just left something out.
Right.
But those that are really lying and that they don't have any criminal history and they actually do, are there any consequences?
They can certainly get in trouble. That's up to the court, but they can definitely be excused. Each legal side has a certain number of strikes that they're allowed to use for any reason. But if the juror is caught lying and we want to get rid of them, they get to be struck. They get to keep the strike and they get to be struck by the court. So it's a game. It's a chess game, but having us on the team really provides that type of advantage. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's one other thing that we do that most people don't realize, and that's bug sweeps. And that's looking for listening devices in people's homes or in their cars or in their offices. And we don't do it very often. We use very, very expensive equipment. We have a former FBI special agent who does it. He will check for anything giving off a Wi-Fi frequency that shouldn't be, anything that giving off a radio frequency that shouldn't.
So for example, a Wi-Fi frequency that shouldn't be there, that means that they're getting into your emails.
It means that there's something that's there that shouldn't be there. That's a listening device or giving off something. It could be a video feed or it could be an audio feed. That's when that's one indication. It's a crime to even put a GPS tracker on a car in Florida, unless you're the owner of the car. So he's checking for GPS trackers. That's the most common thing he's looking for. So anyway, we do a lot of different things other than infidelity. We do that as well. Yeah.
Then just sitting with a huge camera behind the.
We do that, but we do many other things as well. Yes.
And that's the only way to follow somebody, just to get the picture, because I feel that everybody knows except the person that you're following.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot use a GPS tracker. You can I don't know if you remember, several years ago, a private investigator put GPS trackers on some cars of Hollandale Beach commissioners, and he was arrested for it. It's a crime in Florida, so you have to, if you want to know where someone is going, you have to follow them.
What about hacking and cybersecurity? You don't do that part, right?
We don't do that part. We have a very good partner who we refer out to do that. When someone gets scammed online, when there's an email scam going on, to check someone's computer or phone to see if it's been hacked. That's a specialty that I think is left best for those who only do that type of thing.
I agree with you. I agree with you that that is a specialty, because what they explained me, because I got hacked. I don't know if you remember, when I was running a campaign, I actually got cyber attacked, hacked, defacing, and all that. And what they were explaining me was that they can do it, and it goes to many different countries before it goes back
right
to the actual footprint of the person who actually did it.
Yeah, right. It's very complicated. The only thing that I would advise upon is using proper security. So if you're using your phone or your laptop at a Starbucks or at a hotel, don't use their Wi-Fi. Don't use their free Wi-Fi unless you have a VPN set up on your phone or your computer. When I am out away from home, I use my phone as a hotspot to
Oh, too good. Okay.
maintain a secure connection if I need to use my laptop. So yeah, I have two-factor set up on everything. On all of my accounts, you need a code, the second factor code for everything. So there are definitely different ways you can mitigate those risks, but if they're out to get you, it's hard, I know. That does remind me, we do a lot of political opposition research during political seasons, of course.
So of course they hire you to go and look for dirty things.
On others or themselves, if they want to see what can be found.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's one of the
what
first
are they
jobs I ever
hiding?
did.
What are they hiding?
Right, they're hiding, they may be hiding sealed records or expunged records, or something they thought that maybe got off the internet, and they want to have a third-party check. I remember one of the first ones I ever did, 2009 probably. The client decided not to run after I gave him my report. So yeah, also money well spent for him, I think. So, yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah.
To your own background check, but okay. So I know that you have a really interesting book club.
Yes. I started book club when I moved to Miami from Washington, D.C. in 2006. And it used to meet in my place in South Beach. Everyone would bring food and wine, and we would have 50 or 60 people every 2 months. It was wonderful, but it kind of died off over the years. But beginning of COVID, restarted it on Zoom for my friends and family and networks all over the country. And every 6 weeks since the beginning of COVID, we've met on Zoom. We all read the same book. I have put together a PowerPoint presentation with questions. And at the end, there are 3 books. Either people suggest books to me leading up to the meeting, or I find books, and there's 3 books to the people who attend will vote on for the next time. And we've been all over the spectrum of things we've read. Fiction.
So wait, you choose, it's a 3-book meeting?
No, from the 3 books, they vote. They vote.
Oh, they vote.
Yeah.
Before the meeting ends.
Yeah, exactly. So right now we're reading, for example, right now it's January 31st, 2023. And on March 1st, we're reading we're reviewing the Nazi Conspiracy by a local author, Brad Meltzer. And it's Hurwitz Book Club is the Facebook group, if you look it up, and I'm happy for everyone to join and spread the word. It's a lot of fun. We have a good time.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. I love as you know, I love being involved in the community in many different ways. So yeah.
No, I know. But Mark, tell me a little bit of inside stories on investigation.
Oh, okay.
The behind the scenes. We don't need names. We don't need, but we love all the...
Well, you talked about living in Florida before, so I'll start by just saying this, that is, for those who are watching who live in Florida or visited Florida, know Florida is a sunny place for shady people. Would you agree with that, Gladys?
100%.
Yeah.
A sunny place for shady people?
Yeah. So we have seen all sorts of just insane things. But some of the more unusual things has been, let me think of one. Let's see. There was a pending divorce with a owner of a jewelry store, and the wife was afraid that the soon-to-be ex-husband was going to ship off all the jewelry overseas. So we went in with a covert camera to document all the jewelry in the store. Our investigator may pretend that he was an investigator.
But isn't that illegal? Like,
no, it's the only thing you cannot do. You cannot record audio in Florida without consent. It's a all party.
Oh, but you can record, like you can do a video recording.
Yes.
Oh,
So
got it.
none
Okay.
of our surveillance videos ever have audio. But you can do video, absolutely. We've had an infidelity case that ended up at a swingers club, which our client was just really blown away by. And it was someone who had worked for the family for a long, was with the mistress was someone who had worked for the family for a long time. So that was a weird one. We've had we have found GPS devices, of course.
In the cars?
And under cars, yep. We have found a lot of money over the years, including millions of dollars in Europe that the client was looking for, that we found. So that was a big divorce case. Some of the insurance defense cases have been really crazy. Someone who claims that they could not lift anything. We saw them in a gym lifting weights.
Oh.
With neck and back problems. We saw them bowling, filmed them bowling on multiple nights. Just someone. Oh, another one recently. We had someone playing soccer. He said he couldn't hardly walk.
And they were playing soccer?
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember I had an event one time. It was during the Miami Book Fair. And we used to handle the international pavilions. And the Egyptian pavilion, we made it look like if it was a pyramid inside with the columns.
Oh, nice.
And it was pretty cool. And one person just wanted to take a picture, and he started walking like that, like walking backwards, and knocked one of the columns. And when it knocked one of the columns, it literally brushed a lady. Well, the photographer fell, and the column fell, and it brushed the shoulder of one of the ladies. And she started screaming, like, I got hurt, I got hurt, I got hurt. And I said, okay, let's call the ambulance. And I remember that I said, do you need the ambulance? Oh, no, I know what I need. And she, of course, immediately called the lawyer. Okay, and
yeah,
I knew that nothing had happened. So I remember I said to her, okay, but if you need to call your lawyer with, that's who you're calling, we need to call the ambulance. So we called security, we called the ambulance. They came in, since all the streets were closed, they had to come in with stretchers, walking through downtown because all the streets were closed. And I started taking pictures of her walking because she didn't want to go on a stretcher. And I said, but before you leave, let me take a picture so you can send it to your lawyer. And I had somebody carry the column, which was made of styrofoam. I said, okay, I'm going to take this picture, so send it to your lawyer before you think what you're going to do.
Yeah. There's a lot of that in Florida, which is why sometimes we are asked, we have to get video of things. And that's another thing that's very important, is when an accident occurs or if any incident occurs at the workplace, anything that you are worried may be subject to litigation later that may help your case, to retrieve the video before it gets recorded over, because it doesn't usually last in businesses for very long, maybe a week or two. So that's
can you find out video tampering?
No, but what we'll do is we'll work with our client's attorney to deliver preservation of evidence letters.
No, but for example, if somebody tampers with a video to make it seem like something else.
Oh no, that would be that you would need a video technical specialist for. Yeah.
Okay.
But speed is of the time is of the essence in getting videos for incidents like that. Absolutely. Right. Even accidents on the road, where's the closest cameras, from stores, from highway cameras, from from traffic light cameras, all of those. It's tricky. It's hard to find information. That's where we get tasked sometimes to help. But yeah, I'm sure you ruined her day because
No, I actually had fun trying to see how this person was trying to sue us for something that,
well,
and
I'm
the
sure you ruined her day.
photographer, and the photographer that actually fell, he was okay, and he was helping us take the pictures because.
So that's what we do.
And the first responders actually told me, said, wait, because if she's trying to do that anyways, if it's false, she's going to get a bill from us because we had to take her to a nearest hospital to have her check her out. So she was going to get a bill.
That's smart thinking. Most people are not thinking like that in the moments. It's great.
So
absolutely.
Mark, thank you so much.
Thanks, Gladys.
This has been very eye-opening beyond the guy on the card.
I'm glad. Good, thank you.
And I look forward to an amazing book.
Thanks.
So
hope to see you at book club. Absolutely.
Hurwitz Book Club on Facebook. Go and sign up.
Thanks, Gladys. I appreciate it.
And everyone have an amazing week. Until next week, and above all, stay safe.
Bye.
Thank you.